Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Star Wars Stuff Podcast, where we talk all things Star Wars. My name is Colin. Going to be doing a quick solo pod. Just wanted to say, may the fourth be with you all. Today, we've had different people in the podcast that have been going out and doing different things. Zach and I were over at the Grand Rapids Symphony Orchestra, and they played A New Hope while the concert was playing the live music. So that was pretty cool. Also, Tales of the Underworld is out. Go and check that out. If you're into gaming and you like Fortnite, go and check out Fortnite. They have a whole Star Wars Galactic Battleground thing going on. And then I wanted to briefly talk about Tales of the Underworld because we learned some things. So if you haven't watched it yet, go and check it out. If you have, we will talk about that in a bit because there have been some new insightful things that have come out of that show, which is super exciting. As always, thank you for everyone that is part of our Patreon. We would not be doing this if it wasn't for you guys, so thank you. But yeah, let's get started. Happy May 4th. On the Disney Store, a bunch of different things went on sale today. Craig 5 on our podcast was able to get the Star Tours actual Star Speeder, which is sick. And apparently, I didn't know this, but now it makes sense because it's kind of pricey. But the actual Star Tours ship that they sold actually has like a small screen in it, and I guess it shows actual scenes from the ride up on the screen and stuff, which is awesome and sick. Hunter and I were able to snag one of the life-size mouse droids as well, which I'm very excited about because as you know, I do Chewy, and something that always appealed to me about the mouse droids was the scene from A New Hope of where the mouse droid comes up to Chewie, Luke, and Han, and then Chewie screams at it, and then it runs away. So now that I'm going to have one, which is coming here on Thursday, which is crazy that it's coming that fast. I'll be able to recreate the scene. So super cool stuff. They had a bunch of different stuff on the Disney Store. Go and check that out. To the people who are in Michigan, or if you have heard of Space Dive happened for the first time this year, and it happened yesterday. It's going on tonight, and then it's going to be happening next weekend as well. A bunch of us from the podcast will be there. So if you come in, if you go there, come and say hi. But yes, Tales of the Underworld. New episodes drop today. 3 episodes are about Ventress, and then the 3 episodes are about Cad Bane. The ones about Ventress are, it's not really an origin story. It's kind of, it's off, on its own, which is great, which is fine because the beginning of it leaves off with the Dark Disciple novel. So, and it kind of explains how Ventress was able to, live and survive. So that's pretty cool. And then you had the Cad Bane episodes, which that basically was an origin story. We have someone on YouTube that says that they liked the Ventress episodes better. I thought the Ventress episodes were good. I felt like they were more grounded, and when you are doing a origin story, for characters, sometimes it can be misleading in a way. But the other things as well is that both of these stories kind of, like, the way that they ended kind of felt like they were leading into something, which leads into, is there only going to be 6 episodes? So with that, they are only doing 6 episodes, but I honestly think these episodes hinted at something down the road because of having the origin story. Cad Bane, was great, and we know where his story begins now, and now we know where it ends. Question mark ends because we don't know if he actually died at the end of the Book of Boba Fett. But with Ventress, her story, I think there's a lot of more room to tell her story. Even though it was, you know, in the Dark Disciple, she died. But then this explains how she lives and why we see her in the Bad Batch and just all that stuff. But the way that this ended, actually, it did open up for a potential continuing of her story and her and her legacy. Um, we'll do a full breakdown of of the Easter eggs and just all of it sometime this week because we just want to give time for those episodes to breathe. But there were a lot of cool things with that. With Cad Bane, his origin, was very interesting. Again, if you haven't watched the episodes, go watch them. If you have, this next information is for you guys because I am about to spoil something. So I'll give you a couple seconds to hop off. See. All right, cool. All right, so the Cad Bane has a son. We find out that Cad Bane has a son at the end, and that kind of leaves it kind of uh opened for the possibility of maybe his son showing up. So I want to hear your guys' thoughts about that. We'll talk more about that in a full breakdown, but that was really interesting. I wasn't expecting that. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, and then also if you played Fortnite, you had the opportunity to watch the first 2 episodes 2 days early. Which was interesting. So that piqued my interest because I want to watch these episodes. So I have done Fortnite, and then apparently you could sit in a theater, sit there, and then watch it. But I didn't know until the end that there's an actual button to make it full screen, so you could just watch the episode normally. I didn't find that until the end, but it was still cool. But yeah, so those episodes are out. If you have the chance to, do something fun today in Star Wars Day, go and watch those. If you haven't watched the second season of Light and Magic, go and check that as well. If you want to be, truly inspired for, costume building, prop making, anything in that industry, go and check that out. It's so fascinating. And I loved that Ahmed Best was heavily involved in this, and it's so cool to see him talk about all of the things that happened in the making of the prequels. And then 2 weeks from now, which is kind of crazy, just under 2 weeks, you have the second DLC coming out of Star Wars Outlaws, where you get to team up with Hondo Onaka. So that's pretty cool. I'm actually excited about that because I do love that character. And a while back, Jim Cummings said that, hinted at he was coming back as Hondo, and everyone thought it was going to be live action, but it's just Outlaws. But if you haven't had the chance to play that, go and check that out. It's great. Yeah. And then someone on YouTube said, I didn't like that Cad Bane is just a copycat of his mentor. I mean, in a way, yeah. Honestly, to me, that was kind of like an Indiana Jones reference because in The Last Crusade, you have, Indy, he goes like on his first adventure, and then he goes and um, you know, something happens with the police, and he doesn't get the artifact, and then the person that is, that was his antagonist in this situation ends up giving him his the fedora, and we find out that that's how we got the fedora. But yeah, I felt content with it. I thought the story was interesting, but yeah. Mm. So this is gonna be something about light and magic here. But the question is, what do you think about them putting um a trigger warning for um for for suicide before lighting magic, but not sexual, but not the SA episode of Andor? Um, I think any type of topic like that, and this is yeah, but okay, I'll make this really quick. Um, any sensitive topic like that, I think they should put some type of trigger warning. Uh, just because of you don't know who's gonna watch it. So I think having those trigger warnings are very important for all audience members that are watching it, just because again you don't know who's going to watch. Um but Ahmed Best goes into detail about that, and I think it's important to tell your story. So I'm um yeah, but yeah, so all episodes of Light and Magic are out, which is pretty great. We're looking forward to the next season of Outlaws for the DLC. It's coming out on the 15th. Um, yeah, there is a lot to look forward to. I'm excited. Um, someone from I have the Andor 2 viewership numbers. Sure, go ahead. Shout them out. But yeah, Dad, you guys doing anything exciting for May 4th? Are you doing anything exciting for May 4th? Uh, a lot of people were expecting my son to be born today, of my wife going in labor, but it's not happening. But yeah, yeah. And then if you're over at Galaxy's Edge, for a very long time, it was tradition that I would go to Galaxy's Edge on May 4th, and there was always different announcements and different things happening. So I bet a lot of cool stuff is happening over there. But yeah, yeah, I love Star Wars Day. I treat this day like Christmas. It's about friends. It's about just the people that you surround with. And every time that I get around this time of the year for Star Wars Day, I always think about of the people that I've met through this incredible franchise. It's absolutely um it's absolutely amazing. I love Star Wars so much, and it's so cool that we're getting all this new stuff every year, and so and it's amazing that Star Wars is able to bring people together. You know, I met so many people through Star Wars Celebration, through the 501st Legion and Rebel Legion, through the podcast. It's just absolutely amazing. So if you have a chance to go out and and go and do a Star Wars event, sports event, you know, they're doing something in your town, go and do it because you don't know who you're gonna meet. And I've been incredibly lucky. YouTube user, are certain uh, books on sale for the 4th limited time. They are doing that for a lot of different things. They're doing that for a bunch of the Star Wars games on the PlayStation Store, so I would go and check that out. Um, and long story short, from Universal, uh, for the viewership numbers, you got 248.8 million for episodes 1, 2, and 3, and then 481.3 million for episodes 4, 5, and 6. And it looks like yeah, the numbers doubled for 4, 5, and 6. Yeah, it's a dark take on Star Wars, but honestly, next week is gonna be, well, actually, in a couple of days here, it's gonna be really interesting to see uh what's gonna happen. I suspect that we're gonna see K2SO, which is awesome because that character is fantastic. and I love that Alan Tudyk is back. But we're also going to be getting the Gorman Massacre, so there's going to be some really sad and dark things coming out of it. But yeah, so there is a lot of Star Wars to look forward to. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, we love you all. We would not be doing the podcast if it wasn't for you guys. So thank you so much for coming back every week. Again, all of us right now are all doing crazy different Star Wars things today. Some of us are sick, so they're not able to make it, but we'll be back on this week for our normal post and pre-show. We'll be doing a full breakdown of Tales of the Underworld because there's a lot to talk about there. And we'll be talking to you all soon. Again, we love you all. Hope you had a great Star Wars day. Hope you all found something great to do. But yeah, talk to you soon. May the force be with you always.